Welcome to the next Premiere Pro tutorial, and there will be another video effect folder which is called channel, and in channel there is only one option called invert, and let's go see what happens if I bring that on the video. So when I bring invert on my video, as you can see, it directly goes to the negative shape. In previous videos in adjust folder, I've already mentioned that if you play with some numbers in white and black on your video, so the negative effect will happen like this, but that was somehow hard. You had to change the numbers. If you bring invert on the video, this negative effects happen without changing any special number, and then you can even play with the colors. This invert option has these options actually more than what we had in level in adjust folder. So in here you can change to red, as you can see, that black and white, or that blue color that was like a kind of negative format in RGB format that you can see in here, which is RGB. Everything is like in a kind of negative shape. But if you come to the red, just red happens, other colors are missing somehow. If you come to green, again you can see that that negative color or that negative effect is changed to something like green. It has more green inside. And then you can even come to the blue, or you can come to HLS. You can play with all these options, and you can see that that negative effect, that effect that was like normal, it was RGB, can be changed to different kinds of shapes like this HLS, or you can come to hue. You can see something like that happens. Even you can change the blend with original. If you do this, you can blend the main picture, the main video, actually the original video, with the effect that you have brought on the video. As you can see, if I increase the amount of percentage for this blend with original, as you can see, I am making my video somehow get back to the original shape of itself, to the default setting. Actually, if I put it on 100%, I do not see any of those effects because I have blended my effect with the original settings of the video. So if I get that back to 0, what I see is the only effect that I've brought on the video. So it is not something important. So if I want to do this action, it just refers to your intention, what you want. If you want to bring such a kind of effect on your video, to change the color of a speaker or to change the color of the video in a kind of cinematic way, but that person is just a speaker. I am talking about something. I'm not gonna focus on the colors. I'm not gonna make something cinematic, so that is not that much useful for me. And the other options, you can see lightness, as you can see, they change that negative effect to another format to make your video somehow effective, but it depends on you how much effect you wanna set for that video. This is something that you really should plan for that. Because if I want to have such kind of shape, or if I want to have such scene for my video, it is very important that what am I going to show, what is my intention. Or you can come even to saturation. You can see that the colors are somehow changed to this, and YIQ has nothing except that RGB option for us, because if I press RGB, it is exactly like YIQ and nothing else happens. I think that is repeated with another name because it gives me exactly the negative effect. And if I come to the luminance, as you can see, again it is exactly like that HLS, or I think hue, no, it was exactly like, yes, lightness and luminance are somehow the same, as you can see. And in phase chrominance, we have the blue is more than the other colors for the video. And quadrature chrominance, actually when I press that, you can see somehow red colors are more. And if I get back to alpha, nothing happens. These are some things that I have already mentioned that in previous video, that if you want to bring them on your video, I mean these effects, you must have a very specific intention, especially while you want to show something cinematic, something that the content has changing the colors inside. This person, I mean me, is talking about something special which is not related to the cinematic things. This person is just teaching something, for example, and it is not necessary for me or the person who is in this picture or in this video change the colors to illustrate something, unless there is something specific in your mind and you want to play with the colors to make your video somehow charming, I don't know, to show a kind of intention of yours to the audience who is watching that. That's it for the invert option in the channel folder. So if I come to the color correction, let's see what happens if I bring, for example, ASC, CDL and brightness and contrast, these effects on the video, what happens, because I didn't really find invert that useful except making my video to the negative shape and changing the colors of that negative effect on the video. So I delete invert from my source and I bring ASC CDL to see what happens. As you can see, we have red slope, red offset, red power, green slope, green offset, green power. We have also that for blue and saturation. These folders up to here are working with RGB colors. So for example, if I come to the red slope and I increase that, you see, as I told you, again it plays with the color, it changes the color to what I need, which is, for example, red. I needed red, so if I reset it again, it goes back, and then I can increase the red offset. If I change red slope and red offset together, you see nothing happens, so you have to just change one of them. And if I, for example, change red power, you can see it changed to blue, but I think you have to change red slope and red offset as well as red power. For example, if I do that, you can see that something like kind of sharpening is happening to the video. Not useful for me as a content creator of these kinds of videos. Just it can give a kind of shape, a kind of effect like this, which is not my intention to my video. It depends again on you, that what you want to illustrate, so you can bring such effects on your videos. And again, you can do the same for blue. You can see you can just mix blue and red together, so you can have a purple color. You can even bring a bit of green to that. You can see this is just playing with colors, I think, in this folder. So that's it. If you go to the saturation, you can see that if you play with the numbers, these kinds of things will happen to you. For example, I played with the colors like saturation, red and blue slope, red slope, something like blue slope and saturation, so something like kind of cartoon shape happened on the video. Maybe I can use it in some of my videos if I play the video. As you can see, if I stop it, something like cartoon happens. It's good for pictures, maybe if you want to have a kind of cartoon effect on your videos or picture. But when I play the video, that cartoon shape is not actually happening on the video, and a kind of white shape, white effect is on the video, so it's not again useful and important for me. So if I come to the brightness and contrast, if I take ASC CDL from the source and I come to the brightness and contrast, so it has only brightness and contrast. We have already mentioned about the brightness and contrast in adjust folder in proc amp, that we had this option. Just the difference was this, that proc amp had two options more, and this brightness and contrast, the name is clear, has only two options of brightness and contrast. And you know that this is really easy, what brightness does and what contrast does. So you can see the brightness is increasing on the video, contrast is increasing on the video. It can be useful. I sometimes use that because sometimes I want to increase the brightness and the contrast of my video, and I can sometimes bring this effect on the video to change these two options. And color balance, again you can see we have shadow red, shadow green, shadow blue, a mid-tone and highlight for RGB. And if you play with them, you can see that somehow red is increasing, very slight red is increasing on the video, a slight green can be increased. If you come to the mid-tone, if you increase that, you see that somehow it becomes more, changing the red color, increasing the red color will be a bit more. And if I come to, for example, highlight green balance, and if I increase that, you can see that green color is somehow highlighted on the video. Again, it is like the previous options, like the previous effects, changing the color. I am not that much into changing the colors like these for my video. Again, it depends on you. You can come to these folders, to these options, and change them in order to get what you want. And the next part is lumetric color. I'm not going to talk about it right now because lumetric color has a lot to do. This is one of my favorite color option actually in Premiere Pro, so it has a lot to say. So I will dedicate another video, I mean next week, we will just talk about lumetric colors and different options in that. So if you haven't watched the tutorials of Premiere Pro, the previous folders, how you start working with Premiere and different kinds of stuffs from the beginning of Premiere Pro, go back and watch different videos about that. There is a playlist into the channel, so you can go and watch them all. Wait for other Premiere Pro tutorial, and next session actually we will work on lumetric color, all the aspects of lumetric color. I have already mentioned, I told you that lumetric color is one of my favorite color options and color settings that I can do on videos. You can do lots of things, and I will talk about that next session. Please subscribe my channel, hit the notification button, like the video, and thanks for joining Crypto Studio. See you.